I welcome you all to Pramati Edu Academy digital classes. Today we are going to take up one of the important language skills which is important, inevitable for all the languages, that is reading and comprehension. I and Jarita ma'am are going to take up this. Welcome you all once again. So, reading and comprehension. In the introduction, I would like to discuss with you what is reading and comprehension. So, what do you mean by reading and comprehension? It is the understanding and interpretation of a written text. So, the text is given, you need to read it, understand it, and interpret in the way it is required. This next one, it tests the reader's ability to receive or take the sense of a text by reading and understanding the meaning of written or printed matter. Here you need to understand the way the author wants to. You are not expected to give your own views, but to understand it, interpret it, and write it in the way it is expected. Next, we have merely identifying words in a page doesn't make someone a successful reader. See, reading a text, a thorough reading, makes one infer or grasp what is there. But by just understanding or identifying words, you cannot understand the whole passage. So you need to have a thorough reading with the understanding of the passage. Next, what is the importance of reading comprehension? It expands one's reading and writing skills. We have observed people who are voracious readers, who have the habit of reading novels and number of storybooks. Their reading and the speaking ability is up to the mark. It is so good, and at the same time it enhances their writing skills also. The second point, it expands one's vocabulary. So you try to build up your word bank is enhanced by reading comprehension. Next, it helps one grasp information. So many times we read many things, but we grasp it wrongly. So it can be grasped. Can we grasp it according to the text given, or can we grasp it according to the author's perspective is very important here. So importance of reading and comprehension is one's expands reading, expands one's vocabulary, and it helps one grasp information.
Now we'll look into the reading techniques. Phrase reading is the first one. Watch the eyes of a friend or a member of your family while he or she is reading. You will see that they move along each line of print in a series of jerks. The pauses between the jerks are known as fixations. It is during the fixations that your eyes take in words. Poor readers take in only one or two words in each fixation. So a reader is actually considered a poor reader when he is not able to read continuously and he just has jerks and there is no continuity in his reading skill. Example, this is how a poor reader's eyes move along lines of print. Next, we look into how a good reader goes ahead. A good reader, on the other hand, takes in several words in each fixation. This is how a better reader's eyes move along lines of print.
So activity. Shall have an activity. Read the two sentences below, focusing only on the highlighted words. Today, it is more important than ever to be able to read fluently. For example, if you are a car driver, you have to be able to read a great many road signs. So you can observe, students, the highlighted words or underlined words. So the first thing, what are the two sentences mainly about? So overall, the first sentence, today it is more important than ever to be able to read fluently. The second one, if you are a car driver, you have to be able to read a great many road signs. So what are the two sentences mainly about? It is about traveling. So by highlighting the words, you come to conclusion that the passage is about traveling. Which example of writing is mentioned in the second sentence? So what is the second sentence? If you are a car driver, you have to be able to read a great many road signs. So which example is mentioned here? It is nothing but road signs. So overall, by understanding nouns and verbs, we can come to a conclusion what is the passage about. So these are the nouns and verbs are the key words you need to focus on. So activity, what is the activity? Quickly surface read the two paragraphs below, paying attention only to the nouns and verbs. Can you get the basic meaning of the paragraphs just from this quick read? I just read for you. Solar energy is released by atomic reactions in the sun. Solar cells can capture sunlight and convert it to electrical energy. One of the latest ideas is to send huge collecting panels into orbit around the Earth. There, in perpetual sunlight, they could capture light energy and convey it to antenna on the Earth's surface. It could then be converted into electricity. So we have highlighted here with the number of colors, stating you that these are the important words like nouns and verbs, about which you need to pay more attention in order to understand or grasp or to get a gist of the passage what is about. So mainly nouns and verbs need to be underlined and should be taken a note of to get a clear understanding or meaning of the passage.
A comprehension usually consists of a passage and question based on the given passage. Now we'll have to look into the 4 important strategies to master reading comprehension. The first strategy used is skimming. To have a quick reading of the passage given, so when you do this, you are able to identify the main theme or the message the passage is trying to convey. So in skimming, you need to understand the context as a whole. So we need not read word by word. So here on a whole, we need to come into conclusion that what we understand from the above passage. Next is watch for keywords like causes, results, etc. Then you have to concentrate on the main idea and ignore the other details. Skim once as rapidly as possible to determine the main idea before you look at the questions. We usually have a habit of just looking into the keywords and then the questions and answering it. So that is not actually the proper way to do this. We have to skim it once as rapidly as possible to get the main idea of the passage. Next, we need not worry about the words you don't know at this stage. Underline the words that you don't understand to facilitate a complete understanding of the passage. So whenever you read something, make it a practice to have a pen or pencil to underline difficult words as it saves your time. This will enable you to solve the vocabulary questions quickly.
So we come to move on to the strategy 2, that is scanning. After you finish skimming, you need to move on to the second strategy. You need to apply, read the passage for the second time. So most passages require at least 2 readings before writing the answer. So when you read the passage for the second time, focus on specific details. That is, First one, is there a problem to address? So a passage may be about a corruption, or a social cause or international issues. There you need to find out whether there is a problem to address. Next, are there reasons mentioned? So a passage may be on written on epidemics. So what are the reasons? For example, now we have outbreak of corona. What are the reasons? What could be the reasons for this epidemic? So passage may be in future could be about corona. So you need to reason out, find the reasons mentioned in the passage, what the writer is trying to give, what are the reasons that writer is trying to give for the greatest epidemic corona. Next, is there a solution provided? So usually problem is accompanied with the solution also. So you need to find a problem and also solution provided in the passage. Next, who are the key players? Means important persons mentioned in the passage, because those persons' names would be could be useful while writing answers. So finally, does it talk about any follow-up actions? So it is just like future course of action or follow-up measures suggested by the authors.
Next, we look into the strategy 3. This strategy comes only after we have finished skimming and scanning. Analyze positive or negative details. So you need to be familiar to analyze passage for positive and negative details and read between the lines. So here this strategy is nothing but when you read it at least twice, you will be able to make a point of positive and negative details the writer is trying to convey. So reading between the lines is nothing but, or it means to retrieve the actual meaning from the writer's perception. It is not that what we understand, we have to understand what the writer is trying to convey through the passage or message.
So strategy 4. Expand your vocabulary. After you read a particular passage 2 times, now you need to focus on vocabulary, because there could be questions on vocabulary also. So knowledge of words and applying their meaning improves reading skills and comprehension skills. So here, underline the words that you do not understand to facilitate complete understanding of the passage. So this will enable you to solve vocabulary questions, and also concentrate on the vocabulary items and puzzle out the meanings of any words you don't know from the context. So what do you mean puzzle out? So there is a word which you have never heard, but you might have come across in a particular paragraph. So in order to get a clear understanding or meaning of the passage, you need to read a particular paragraph or a sentence many times before the word and after the word, in order to get a complete understanding or meaning of a particular word. So we call it puzzle out the meaning. So in order to fully understand the given passage and answer the questions, follow the guidelines as given below. First, read the passage once in order to understand the gist of the passage. Read the passage second time and identify the essential points. Then study the set of questions thoroughly.
This is a slide about answering questions. So now we look into the points, how to answer the questions after each passage. Refer to each question and locate the answers in the passage. So once you have done your thorough reading, you will be able to locate the answers in the entire passage. Next, answer the questions in your own words using keywords from the passage or the questions if necessary. The common error we actually commit is we just pick up the same lines and we just tend to copy as answers. We should omit that and we should be writing the answers in our own words, and we can use the keywords which are actually used in the passage. The next one is the answer should be written in the same tense in which the question has been asked, irrespective of the tense in the passage. So most of us, what we try to do is, when we are copying the same sentences from the passage, we just tend to sticking on to the same tense which is there in the passage, and we forget about the tense which is there in the question. So we should keep in mind that we answer the question in the same tense as the question is asked. Next, answers must be very relevant and to the point. So we should note the marks. If it is a 1 mark question, it should be a sentence, and if it is 2 marks question, it should be 30 to 40 words. So it should be very relevant and to the point, and we should not add extra which is not very relevant. Next is answer according to the marks. So I have already told you that if it's a 1 mark question, you need to answer in a sentence or a word according to the requirement.
So how to approach comprehension questions? So first point, the why question. In the why question, you are required to give reasons, provide explanations and give evidence for an answer. It is essential, therefore, to look out for words that show cause, effect and purpose in order to arrive at the answer. These words are cause words, first one. Cause words signal the cause or reason for an event or an action. These include because, due to, as, since, owing to, on account of, in that, resulting from, for that reason, on the grounds that. So these are the words that you come across when you answer why questions.
The next is effect words. Effect words signal the result of an event or an action. So when there is a cause, automatically there will be an effect of that. So the effect words which we usually use are consequently, so, as a result, resulting in, therefore, with the effect of, etc. Next comes purpose words. Purpose words indicate the reason for an event or an action. These kind of words actually indicate the purpose, and the examples are for, so that, so as to, in order that, for the purpose of order, for the purpose of, in order to, etc.
Next we shall take up
the inference question. In the inference question, you are required to draw a conclusion based on the information given in the passage. Since these are not straightforward questions, it is essential to read between the lines for clues or hidden meanings. Earlier I had told you that we are not looking into we have to look into all the hidden meanings, that it is reading between the lines. So we have to understand from the perspective of the author or the writer, and we have to answer the questions. Answering these questions requires a lot of understanding. You cannot directly pick the lines as it is and answer. This cannot be a conclusion from your perspective, but it should be based on the perspective of the author and on the information given in the passage. So now how can we do this? This can be done by understanding certain keywords and phrases.
So next, the rephrasing question. What is the rephrasing question? It expresses the same message in different words. First I read for at times you are required to explain a word or phrase in your own words, or substitute a word or phrase in the passage without altering its meaning. So how can you do this? So we can do this by understanding the word or phrase in its context. So it is essential to read what comes before and after it. So again, rephrasing means it expressing the same message in different words, and also we also call it paraphrasing, or we also call it rewording. So at times you are required to explain a word or phrase in your own words, or substitute or word or phrase in the passage without altering, underline it, without altering its meaning. So this kind of question is asked to test your comprehension skills, or to test whether you have grasped what the writer is trying to convey. So to do so, it is essential to understand the word or phrase in its context. So it is essential to read carefully what comes before and after it. So if the passage has to be given a title, select a title based on the main theme, idea, main event or main character. So usually passage followed by the questions. The question could be asked, give a title to the passage. And how can you give a title? So to give a title, you need to select a title based on the main theme or idea or main event or the main character. So there, according to such concepts, such understanding, you need to give a title. So by the time you read twice by skimming or scanning, you will come to a conclusion what is the passage about. Then easily you can give a title to the passage depending on the idea, event or the main character.
So before we conclude, let's look into the points to remember so that we can read thoroughly, be able to answer the passage based on our understanding. The first point is read the passage once in order to understand the gist of the passage. Gist is nothing but the summary. Read the passage second time to identify the essential points. Next is to study the set of questions thoroughly. Refer to each question and locate the answers in the passage. So whenever we read the question, we need to look for answers in the passage and then we have to rephrase it or reframe it in our own words and then answer them. Next is to answer the questions in your own words using keywords from the passage. The answer should be written in the same tense in which the question has been asked and not the tense which is actually there in the passage. Thus, a comprehension allows one to express what one grasps in a clear manner. Thank you.
Thank you for watching.